So Laurence, you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi everyone. Yes, I'm here.
Uh,
Hear me well?
yes.
You are breaking out a little bit because your internet in Birmingham works.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're all in you are all in paradise over there. I'm in an arid desert. We've built here a little structure, but there's a lot going on here. So there's a lot of people gonna come in about 55 minutes. The gates open, and over the week it'll be like 80,000 people, almost 100,000 people coming into this city. So I hope you can see my slides talking about establishing a new city, a frontier city of life.
Yes,
And I
you
hope
can.
those are my, yeah. All right. So, yes, I'm going to introduce to you one of the potentially most ambitious initiatives to make a real difference in the fight against diseases. I'm going to talk about longevity as the defining question of humanity. Is this idea of kind of targeting aging as a preventative paradigm for all of the diseases that come with age, like Alzheimer's, heart disease, and so on. Everyone agrees to sort of target each one, but not everyone thinks like, oh, actually, what we really want is to be healthy for longer. I mean, for me, it's pretty obvious. It's about this freedom from disease. It's about my grandma keeping her mental faculties. It's about my grandpa keeping up with my sister on the dance floor. But I think society is just not doing enough. The world isn't waking up from this trance of accepting that which you cannot change. But actually, we can change it. There's this new like medical paradigm, right? So we need to come together and coordinate and do better. This is life and death. We're not talking about a magic pill that you might read in the news that will make you live forever. We're talking just a better approach, a new paradigm for medicine, instead of the status quo, which is just like with crypto, right? We had the status quo of finance in medicine as well. It's like pharma just manages symptoms, keeps people in a poor state of health for longer. What we really want is attack that root cause of all these chronic diseases and really get a grip on the age-related diseases. Of course, also it's unsustainable, the current paradigm, economically at least unsustainable, societally unsustainable. We have this inverted pyramid with more old people than young people, and it's going to collapse. We have a decreasing and aging population. I think it's basically a silver tsunami, as people say, and we have a better alternative. Aging is malleable. It has been slowly reversed in lab animals by dozens of pharmaceutical interventions. And, we have here 110,000. This is the number of lives we lose to aging every day. This is a crazy number. It's 40 million lives per year. And that kind of leads to scope insensitivity. Like people can't really comprehend, like, oh, COVID kills this many. It's just kind of hard to fathom, right? This is every year, 40 million people and hundreds of millions of people just suffering on the hospital bed. And this is just 1 second, one life. Every second we lose someone. I think humans coordinate to achieve amazing things, like the Apollo moon, right? We coordinate through stories, like through money, through companies, through states even. All of these are just coordination, right? And we've seen that we can move at warp speed with COVID, for example. It was a crisis. The will of the people wanted this. But what about the crisis for Alzheimer's and cardiovascular disease and so on? Aging itself is a crisis, so we should move fast. But regulations, of course, we have this paternalistic, monopolistic approach. Regulators are people, ambitious people, but the incentives of the system are messed up to increase power of the agency, to maximize the scope. And there's this invisible graveyard. Nobody hears, if a drug is approved and dangerous, you hear about the few lives that are lost, but nobody hears in this with the HIV pandemic, for example, epidemic. The FDA came out and said, look, we are saving 10,000 lives a year now that we approved this drug, but they approved it 7 years later than other countries in the West. And so that just means it's kind of like a smoking gun, right? Like they admitted that we kind of lost almost 100,000 people from that. And human insulin got delayed by 30 years in the US versus other countries. and so on. People die waiting for cancer drugs. Just 25,000 Americans only per year waiting for drugs that are already in clinical trials and would have saved them. But people say, okay, you're going to change regulations, but people will die. Like, this is unsafe. Well, I think we can be safe, but also we don't need to be dumb about it, right? Like, we don't want to put the speed limit at 4 miles an hour so that nobody dies in car accidents, right? We want to also move fast. And I think a lot of people want to reform the existing system, and I think that's great. I think we also need exit as a head. We need staff to establish new, right? You only have one company, IBM or something, and you wanted to move from enterprise to business, and you had to lobby within IBM to change that. I think it would have very hard. So much better if you can start an Apple, start a Microsoft, and do better. So I'm talking about a sandbox. We can sort of, instead of a prohibitory approach to regulations, we can try a certificatory approach in this new city, and the world can watch and potentially incorporate what works. And it will be ideally decentralized and bottom up so that the will of the people can be satisfied. And this gives it legitimacy. The will of the people cannot be questioned by authoritarian urges. We've seen with the movie Dallas Buyers Club. I recommend it. We've seen the story about the HIV patients in the US coming together and trying to get drugs for themselves. And I think with a community, you get leverage. You can come together in physical space. You can have self-governance. You can have, you're autonomous, right? You can remove roadblocks to whatever the community puts their mind to, because it's by the people for the people. And the community also benefits from basic research. Economy can boom. Benefits from the health of its citizens. Again, with this inverted pyramid, it becomes economically better. You don't spend so much on Medicare, and you also earn a lot more by people being healthy and in the workforce for longer and innovating. So VitaDAO is already a network union, as Balaji calls it, just online community of people coming together for a common goal. We're funding aging research and spinning out longevity biotech companies. We funded over 20 projects, deployed millions. We've kind of demonstrated that a lot of 10,000 community members can do a lot, but we're missing the latest stage. Like one of our projects is ready to spin out and go into humans as actual drugs. And this is VitaDAO kind of shows that not everyone needs to move to one location. You can have an archipelago, and people contribute online, but some people might move to some places and so on. Music is happening before to get stuff done. We built Los Alamos, right, to get the Manhattan done. For the so the first experiment I worked on, you've all heard about Zuzalu, and it was in this direction of exploring building new cities and network states. It was initiated by Vitalia. I hope you've seen the previous. I thought to add some slides here. It was really wholesome. We kind of learned that vibes really matter. For me, it was life-changing. For a lot of people I hear, and quite inspiring. And what's relevant here for this longevity new city is that we in Zuzalu as well, we wanted to have these healthy co-living as a base on top of the longevity biotech explorations and conference. So we were doing daily lunges and sometimes exercising, working out together, keeping out accountability, tracking our biomarkers, healthy food, having a healthy restaurant with our own menu. And we built a strong partnership with Montenegro. Both the former prime minister and new government visited and are talking to us. We're working on establishing a special economic zone basically there. But we're also looking at a bunch of other locations. So the short list is Honduras and Montenegro and Uruguay for now. Of course, I've also put Palau here. Well, let's explore that as well, and a bunch of other locations. So in January, we're going to have Vitalia on the island of Roatan, this Caribbean paradise island, where Prospera already is. They're establishing a new city there. They're building a building that's going to open up soon. So we're going to be able to expand capacity potentially in their building as well. We already have there a bunch of biotech companies like Minicircle that do gene therapies very quickly at high safety standards, but much cheaper, much faster. A lot of things that can be enabled with being in a special jurisdiction like Prospera. So we want to learn from them. And so yeah, Vitalia is going to be from January 5th or 6th until March 1st, 8 weeks, around $3,000 per month for people that want to live in our accommodation, and assistance is available. So we're filtering for people that want to live longer. And I think everyone here has to think you have two options. You work on curing aging, or you work on a random side fun project. Option one, of course, you can do another one after. Option two, you're dead. So option one, you can keep doing them. So I think it's kind of worth looking into this, and I hope you can join me, and feel free to apply here. And if you have any questions, I'd love to take and discuss and decentralize this a bit.
Laurence,
I cannot hear you. Let me mute myself.
can you hear me? No.
Yes.
Yes, I was just like blown away by the new development of like VitaDAO to Vitalia. So in the interest of time, we will have one question for Laurence. It's from the audience because he's not here right now. So we want to have the opportunity to ask him questions. Anybody? We can perhaps explore establishing a special zone in Palau that allows longevity research. That could be the angle. Oh, he's gone. Okay.
No, he's still there.
He's still here. All right. Anybody? Nobody else. All right. Thank you, Laurence.
Yeah.
We will keep in touch, and then we'll share people your video. Have fun, everyone. All right.
Thanks.
So, yes. Bye.